Okay, hello. This is Steve Kasanovich and Doug Hoffman, live from Chicago. We're getting ready to do the OptionsCity CBO webinar on trading on the C2 webinar. I'm here with Doug Hoffman, Director of Business Development for the CBOE. How you doing, Doug?
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, so everybody hopefully has logged into the number for the teleconference. And if you're having any problems, sorry to say, we'll be able to help you. Hopefully you'll be able to figure it out. You can ask us questions. And so, Doug, you ready to go?
Sure, absolutely. So CBOE, being a traditional floor-based exchange, wanted to get into the maker-taker space, and it was easy for us to do that by bringing up a second exchange. It is wholly owned by CBOE Holdings, which is the stock issuing company since we went public in June, and we're just kind of replicating from a business structure point of view what NASDAQ is doing and ARCA with NAM and PhilX and ARCA Amex and the ARCA exchange. It was our primary intent to bring this up as maker-taker in being that that's a completely different business model than CBOE. Also, the pricing structure is significantly different, and the algorithms are different. You know, it is maker-taker.
Hold on. Just go here. And I just want to say that OptionsCity, we were founded in 4 years ago in 2006. We're a Chicago-based financial technology company, and we're providing an end-to-end market-making solution, and we're certified in a number of different exchanges. I'm going to give it now to Doug, and we'll kind of go over the agenda where he's going to cover the C2 market model and just kind of talk about the market model, the listing, connecting to C2, the type of permits that are available, and trading on the C2. And then we'll go into a very brief demo of how you can utilize a client server-based application like OptionsCity for trading on the C2. So I'm going to turn it over now to Doug, and he's going to talk about the C2 market model.
Well, thanks. You know, OptionsCity is one of only 2 vendors certified for C2, and it uses the CBO Direct platform. It's the same trade engine and same APIs as firms are using to connect to C1, CBOE Classic, or CBOE in Chicago, as we call it, but modifications were necessary to get to C2. So the fee structure and one of the 2 main differences on C2 is we're on the maker-taker model. So you can see a brief snapshot of the maker-taker fees from the fee schedule on the screen right now. We wanted to be on the low end of the prices. And again, it was just easier to create a new exchange, an all-electronic exchange for the maker-taker business. As many of you know, CBO Direct is highly configurable on our side by way of prioritization and allocation, and the allocation matching algorithm is different on C2. It's not pro rata. Customers, of course, C origin orders of customers maintain priority. We're maintaining the ability of market makers to be preferenced by order flow providers. For the current products of the price penny pilots were price time, and there's no DPMs.
Right. I think one of the key points, Doug, is that it is a price time priority model too, correct, for the market makers or customers?
Oh, for everybody, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
These are the current listings. Following our pattern, we like to roll things out really slowly. So with 4 days of rollout, we've got those products forward through IWM that you see listed on the left. And tomorrow, we'll list 4 more classes: Citigroup, Apple, Bank of America, and General Electric. Then following, things are going very well for us from a systems point of view. But following ancient customs at CBOE, we're not going to have any new listings next week because it's expiration. You know, it's always busy on Wednesday with the VIX settlement. We'll go to Tuesday the 23rd, 15 new listings. The next week, 22 new listings. That will get us up to 50. The list of those classes will be available in a couple of days or early next week. And after the November 30th listings, we'll be up to 50. And believe it or not, those 50 classes represent 50% of the current volume in options trading.
Okay, and Doug, and then the listing will continue on those to have the top 100 of the next.
Well, we plan it in chunks. The next wave will probably be bigger, and our goal is to get out to all the penny classes in the first wave.
Okay.
Even though OptionsCity is going to get everybody connected and trading profitably, there's some things you need to know about connecting and hooking up and relating to CBOE. Systems.cbo.com or HTTPS systems.cbo.com is our generic site for CBO Direct API documentation. Because it's the same trade engine, the documentation covers CBOE and C2. If you want to learn more about how the system works, even if you're using OptionsCity software, and download the documentation, look at some of the functional specs from our side, you have to register for access to that site, to the API website. The C2 trade engines out on the East Coast, beautiful Secaucus, New Jersey. You would go to Equinix and contact them if you want to get at least one full cabinet or multiple cabinets. Contact Equinix directly. And various network providers that some of you know, I've listed the ones we know about here at the bottom of the page. IDC, Guavatech, and Bourne Capital are hosting hardware for people out at Equinix.
And Doug, just one question. So this is a little bit different from the traditional CBO market maker, not structure that they do host servers at the CBO, but for C2 they will not, correct? It'll be
yes.
Third party.
Yes, that's completely correct. Yeah. Maybe some of you have dealt with us. We do support, this exchange itself supports Colo here in Chicago, but not out in New Jersey.
Okay. Okay, Doug, so what type of memberships are there on C2?
Well, it's not quite the same as what's going on in Chicago. And C1 here, we have an additional type of permit, the floor broker permit. And since C2 has no floor, that doesn't exist for C2. So there's just the two types of permits on C2, the market maker permit that allows you to stream in quotes, and electronic access permit. The prices are listed on the screen. But we added that note there about the appointment cost for all the C2 classes being 0.001. As you may know, on C1, busier classes carry a heavier appointment cost. On C2, we wanted it to be flatter and cheaper, so all the penny classes that are going to be listed on C2 will be cost 0.001 of a seat.
Correct. So for example, that on C1, trading the spiders is what
I think it's a quarter of a seat.
Quarter of a seat, whereas on C2,
0.001. So the plan is you could, even when we have all the penny classes listed, you'd only need one market maker permit, and then if needed, you could maybe buy some supplemental bandwidth packets.
Okay, which leads us to the next slide where we'll talk about kind of some of the bandwidth.
Oh yeah, this is also different. Also different than these numbers are different than what's on CBOE. Well, actually, the order entry capacity for everybody on both exchanges is the same. Whatever type of permit you had, it's 150 orders per 5 seconds. But a market making permit on C2 is 20,000 quotes per 3 seconds, or 665 messages per second, which is 5 times what's available for a market-making permit on the CBOE. OptionsCity, of course, handles our trade engine perfectly, but so some of these next points might be invisible to users, but we send in the quote packets always relating to the same underline, and the mass quote messages can be big with up to 400 quotes, and anybody with a permit, any type of permit, can download market data direct from the trade engine.
Right, and Doug, if that these thresholds, or if you require greater than these thresholds, you can buy supplemental bandwidth.
Yes, absolutely. The point is to hold down your permit cost. We hope for market makers the 5x capacity of the market making permit will let them go a long way without having to take on extra packets, but they're available if needs be. Oh, and the other thing about the quoting requirements, or the capacity requirements for quoting on C2, as some of you may know if you're looking at that market already, we're listing fewer strikes and fewer months. So hopefully the bandwidth that comes with the first market maker permit will go a lot farther.
Okay, here are some key contacts for accessing the C2.
Yeah, well, again, you've got to deal with the exchange. It's a regulatory environment. To apply for permits, you would contact the Registration Services Department, which many of us used to know as membership. There's an appointment process. You can't stream quotes in any class on any of our exchanges unless if it's in your appointment. And so you have to work with the MQA, or Market Quality Assurance Department. That's their main number there, but it's Allison Kyle, Jennifer Gilland, and others. And they can set up your appointments for you initially, and then they also give you web access so that you can turn your appointments on and off from via the internet as you wish. And that's for both exchanges. OptionsCity would help you a little bit, and vendors would help you a little bit with your connectivity, but the API group would help you set up variable logins. And it's API@cboe.com or 7300, that's their group number. And those 3 departments together will get you trading. There's one other thing I thought of after we were preparing for the webinar. On both exchanges, we have sponsored user access, and that space is going to change when new SEC regs become effective in a couple days, and you'll have to have your sponsored user connection be pre-trade, go through the clearing firm for pre-trade credit checks, and so that may be undesirable for many people. However, it could let you trade as a non-BD. Sponsored users do not have to be broker-dealers. Members have to be broker-dealers, and there have to be people registered with FINRA and all that kind of stuff. And but if you wanted to be in either one of our markets, subject to a little more regulation, not as a BD, we do have a sponsored user program on both exchanges. I actually support that primarily, and so contact me if you have any questions about that. Yeah.
So Doug, that's just direct access without the ability to quote two-sided market.
No, that's absolutely correct, Steve. Sponsored users only submit orders.
Right now, that's kind of the